constituency in somewhere in the Savannah region. No crime boy. But sir, Bibi Aboko there. Yeah, nyame ase. And Finance Minister Abba Mwenim, of course, pursuant to Article 180 of the 1992 Constitution, no, or the Bibi Abetu Mwenim sa monshana mo approval emano. You go through na compensation of employees, kahon, use of goods and services, interest payments, subsidies, grants to other government units, social benefit, other expenditure, capital expenditure, arrears clearance, and amortization. When you know here, meboa.
Hello.
Yeah, JJ, me patrol temenka.
Me too, come in here.
Yeah, na me busa say, oshe breakdown of the expenditure, and you know here, meboa.
Sanya okay, you know. In accordance with Article 180, and I think our standing orders 145.
Yes.
If my memory serves me right.
Yeah, 145.
Yes, the finance minister must come for authorization. And even in accordance with the public financial management act, he must come for authorization. That's why to me and spend this kind of. And normally what parliament does is to give a ceiling so you can spend up to this amount. We're in a special case. So I think before the 18th of November every year, as a finance minister, at the budget for the year ahead of us in EBA. But because we're in an election year, we don't know who will be the president and who will be the finance minister, who will be in government. But we must spend, which we must pay salaries. I said, you have to obey in November for approval for a 3-month period. That's January, February, March. And then something like a holding period. 2016, Honorable Secretary requested for about 10 billion. And then Mr. Koneporata is requesting for in excess of 27 billion.
Yes.
So you see the difference.
After 4 years, unusual.
After 4 years. So now go to the details. I've just been looking at the document. I think it's a 39-page document. I think I might be through.
Yeah, 39 pages, yes.
Yeah, maybe compare with any previous and might be.
Okay.
But I will do some analysis. Me who revenue figures. I've seen the expenditure figures.
Yes.
The first question is that will be free in Panaba. I think that's something all of us must talk about.
Or say, so I'll the point number 38 now, JJ. Or say, Mr. Speaker, this expenditure in advance of appropriation forms part of the projected revenue and expenditure estimate and financing for 2021 attached as appendices 1A to 1C. The breakdown of allocations to MDAs for January to March 2021 are also attached as appendices 2A to 2D. And maybe I'll quickly move to appendices 1A.
I've gone there. I'm at 1A, page 26. First quarter, he projects to get 13 billion.
Yes.
And here we are spending 27 billion. You see the issue?
Yeah.
That is double what we are going to get as revenue. We are broke, That is the true state of this country. Your total revenue, if I'm getting you, page 26, that's where I am with you.
Yeah, page 26. Total revenue. Yeah, Q1.
2001.
Q1.
13 billion.
Into 2021 projected 66 billion, but Q1 projected near 13.34 billion.
And Q1 expenditure is 27 billion. That is the true state of this economy. Number one. Number two, 27, no. Who could hit 27 now?
Yeah.
That's page 21, and I'm a boy.
On Asempa FM.
Debt service and that is interest and amortization. Over 10 billion. For just 1 quarter.
Yeah, I don't know, sir. What the interest payment, 7.002 billion. Amortization, 3.41 billion. Into the boom, over 10 billion.
Thank you. That's debt servicing.
Yeah.
Then when you go to the appendix itself, like I said, but to the appendix itself and look at tax revenue. And that is very important for any country.
Yeah.
Because tax revenue, base.
Yeah.
Tax revenue is 10.4 billion. It's tax revenue almost in the in 2020, our total tax revenue is about 42 billion. Meanwhile, your debt servicing, 38 billion. When you do the computation, it means that in 2020, over 90% of our tax revenue will be used to service debt. And it's worsening in 2021. And the minister has always failed to achieve his revenue targets. That's a fact. You check all his budgets. He's always failed to achieve his revenue target. So even this revenue target, is suspect. Look, this country is heavily indebted. It's a debt-distressed country. I've just been looking at IMF for October report. The ministry has not debunked that report. The ministry has not challenged that report. IMF, they are not interested in Ghana politics. At least, you may disagree on figures. Because who read this statement, he tries to embellish and put the party in a good light. Jensen will try to hit at them. But IMF, and in so many countries, we are members of the IMF. They've issued a report on Ghana. We haven't complained. We haven't debunked it. And it stands. Your debt to GDP by this year, in 2 months' time, you better end, now the 76.7. Mr. Kenoporeta Beji, Abino, now the 56. And what they call 57%. What is good about this?
Okay, JJ, may share way if it would answer some of the questions I will raise now. And the finance minister admits, say Osha first quarter of 2021, the total revenue and grants would amount to 13.3 billion. Wajiatum said the total expenditure, including the clearance of arrears, is projected at 24 billion. Way ever resulting in projected fiscal deficit of 10.7 billion. Said the But the point number 34, JJ, he makes an interesting point. Or say, Mr. Speaker, to support the 2021 budget and liability management, we plan to source funding from the international capital market. This will comprise the issuance of sovereign bonds of $3 billion with the option to increase it to $5 billion should market conditions prove favorable. Out of the amount to be raised, $1.5 billion will be used to support the 2021 budget and $3.5 billion for liability management. Mr. Speaker, would require an amount of 27.4 billion to carry on the service of government until the those partners are not very
I like baby already.
Yeah, but 34.
That is the meat of it. That is the meat of it. Wako bobo siya 3.5 billion.
Semper FM.
Wase se onyakra waba bobo siya 5 billion. This is the same government that told us that when it comes to borrowing and spending, even a toddler can do that. That's all they are doing. Nothing innovative, nothing new. All they know is to borrow. And then the other drew. That is the state of Ghana today. Okay, Ghana will borrow now. 1.5 budget. And that's what borrow the Akutu Yakao. What tells you the Yakano, Esra na Eko. It's not sustainable. Master, talk to any economist, any finance person. So, all kind of correct. That's what you end it in the NPP to China. This country is in a quagmire. We must face it. Read the document. Yeah? He gives you figures up to February 2019. Is that what we are interested in? He should give us figures up to September at least. What current figures? And the bank for me. We are now going for the finance committee meeting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, prepare, and I'm happy to show the question on the pass. So which means that Nana, we can do a bit more of diligent work and Sana Yako. But mother, let's face it, now next year, and I am here, a mini year per. Because look, your total revenue this year, total everything 53, tax revenue 42. Meanwhile, appropriation is about 109 billion or so. I'm yet to check all those things. It tells you that we have a major problem as a country. And normally, Obi, you just don't look at the debt to GDP. Japan debt to GDP is about 100%.
Oh, yes.
You look at their revenue base, especially tax revenue.
Of course.
servicing of debt in the because you roll over some, you borrow to pay some.
Yes. Yeah, of course. In the name Richmond, Casanova say debt sustainability analysis now bear 7 factors and apart from debt to GDP, no, OSHA revenue mobilization, OSHA interest payment, and all
Fantastic.
of that. OSHA then you can get the picture.
No,
like
generally. You are saying, because they can 100 million.
Yeah.
Now we interest you 10%.
Yeah.
Now maybe they can 50 million. Now me interest you 30%. Of course, you go to your interest now. Me and do me canusano. I'm paying more than you do. So I'm happy you brought all this.
Yeah.
But when you do all that analysis, we are struggling.
The data shows that. But the other thing, NSA JJ, what would you rather government do? Because at the end of the day, say OSHA yen revenues, of course, historically, no, your revenue mobilization as a country is problematic. Ostensibly because yen tax net ni yen widen no papa amount for ensure that entry taxes papa ni adinti, we can go into that debate. Yen revenue mobilization as a country a problem. In fact, IMF and CASA in their October report on Sub-Saharan Africa no aka say one of the things that was Sub-Saharan Africa government number 1 revenue mobilization, digitalization to also help in revenue mobilization efforts any other. Aban Ibeka Chow say sa building blocks no in digitalizing the economy no it will take time to crystallize in the CCR no revenues kakra ejejena na was almost share the nyoma kaka and you still have to borrow. And yes, what should government do?
Not beyond unsustainable limits. Obi wakati ya 1,000 Ghana and your mama yedi. The first thing you do is to stop price every morning. Is to stop chartering private jets at exorbitant amounts and flying around the globe. Is to stop buying unnecessary luxurious vehicles. Is to realign your expenditure. School fees here, your first line item. But on vacation. That is what every government does.
On
and it's honesty. Will be okay. They keep insisting that everything is okay. When you and I know that everything is not okay. So the first thing is to be honest with the people of Ghana. Let's tell the people of Ghana the true state of the economy. If you are maybe a free MPP for buying, just like a timer, maybe crude prices crashed, and so there are exogenous forces and external forces. At least let's say the truth. Then we can begin to say, okay, having established an Ukrainian, how do we collectively deal with that? I think that is paramount. If we don't do that, then there's always a debate. Even the people of Ghana, they don't even appreciate Nyayeka because I am NDC, they can't NDC politics. Maybe Kwaku finance minister, I can't NPP politics. So what is the true state of Ghana's economy? And how do we deal with that going forward? The other issue is the expenditure itself. Go and look at capital expenditure. It's always been on the decline. No country grows without capital expenditure. Go and look at all the growth models. Capital formation is a key issue. You must improve on your infrastructure base. And no crowd driving ICT because when your infrastructure base is good, then you can ride on it to grow the economy. That recurrent expenditure, yes, it's good, it's popular, fair. It is nice, but you pay for it eventually.
But JJ, say who kase was say aban honest about the health of the economy. Monswa moye opposition members should also pat government on the backs and yoma equia. For example, again, data no in chantro. So what data now? The economy has grown an average of 7% between 2017 and 2019. Compared to an average of 2.8% between 2014 and 2016. That's something you should commend government for. But
let me explain that to you. Let me explain that to you. Young fans say, oh, a fool.
Yes.
A fool no 5 years, and fans say they are 2 acres. If you borrow more, the size of the economy would increase because you are borrowing. But if you don't grow the base, and more revenue. And so GDP growth rate alone is not enough. You must grow in the productive sectors. And take the 2019 budget, now check your think table 12 or 1.2. I'll send it to you. Look at industry, look at construction, look at the key areas.
No, my share figures, I've seen all
that
those
they are not growing.
Mm-hmm.
So an omnibus figure of just GDP alone might not be enough. Then how come that our debt to GDP is worsening? If we are growing this fast, if we are expanding the base of the GDP, how come that our debt, and yet we are saying, we are maintaining a fiscal deficit of under 5%.
Yes.
And it is your fiscal deficit that goes to add on to determine your debt largely. Largely, that's how it is. Because as you know, and there, revenue 100 million, okay, 150. Based on accrual and what you must borrow to fill that gap. Now, better than okay. Most fiscal deficit, very, very good. It's unprecedented. The economy is growing unprecedented. Most you are able to manage our debt. So how can we have 76% as a percentage of debt to GDP? How can we are spending 90% of our revenue?
70 for now. For now, percentage of the debt to GDP near 68. 76 near projected figure by the IMF, and we should put it in that perspective.
Go and look at even the current figure of the IMF. But in any case, Obi.
Yes.
What to be that say? Can operator mass figures are different? IMF mass figures are different. There should be a problem there.
No, but how is that possible? Can my different figure from IMF ever here?
And you was studio and I mean Dr. Gideon Boakoba argument about your deficit when the IMF gave 2018.
No, but that debate has been settled, JJ.
How was it settled?
No, sir, Namumu Kase Omu treated some items below the line.
Why would you do that?
No, but the IMF has settled that debate, no?
By saying that what?
That it is something they are aware of. We are aware, say, government is doing that. And my government the green light to do that in their reporting to them. And
they never said so, please. I was on Joy FM when the IMF was called into the program.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying, Obi, we must have the same figure. Please, let's settle this matter. Say, when investors are coming, they go to the IMF website because that is an authoritative body. And I'm saying, look, let's settle this matter beyond even the end. Look, of course, we are in an election year. You never hear politics. I want the MPP to lose because I think that their performance has been abysmal. But we have a country to govern. And all of us at least must agree on the facts. The facts cannot be different. We can have different opinions and ascribe opinions to COVID or whatever. But at least the facts must be sacrosanct.
JJ, finally on the fact again, and Name Chef Finance Minister, I was listening to him speak, and he made the point again with the data, and at the frontier of free say. Was some more or more about so apart from the GDP average growth rate or can say reducing inflation from 15.4% at end December 2016 to 7.9% by the end December 2019, the lowest since the Fourth Republic in 92. Maintaining maintaining an average fiscal balance below a 5% of GDP threshold between 2017 and 2019 as compared to an average of 6.3 in 2014 and 2016. Improving gross international reserves to reach 8.6 billion or about 4 months of import cover by February 2020 as compared to 3.5 months of import cover in 2016. Successfully exiting the IMF ECF program in April 2019, which had been completely derailed by 2016. These are data you cannot downplay.
So let's take them one after the other. It takes 2014, 2013, 14, 15, and 16, and 4 years.
Yes.
And when is the seminar period for MPP?
2021
and then February.
Okay, we'll cut terminal period no.
Yes, for him. He's comparing.
Yeah.
He's comparing apples with oranges. How do you go and take somebody's 4 years? And then you are in October, Meboa.
October,
you have figures up to September. You don't want to give September figures. You want to give us 2019 figures.
FM.
What kind of wrong analysis is that? You see how political our finance minister can be.
Now, sir, 2020 and the year-end figures.
You don't need a year to end to know your import cover. You don't need it. You can get your import cover out of September. So what's he talking about? That's propaganda.
And you need the year and as September figures to be able to
read the IMF document. They have stated categorically that this December will do 2.7 months of import cover. I prefer a 3.5 months of import cover under Honorable Secretary to a 2.7 months of import cover under Mr. Tenoforiata.
Yeah, but I won't say we use 2020 in some of these analyses. 2020 clearly is an outlier, JJ. Because of COVID, the throw BBA haywire, you can't possibly use 2020 in any competent economic analysis. Meboa.
Go and look at 2015 figures. When crude oil price crashed by more than 80%, that is an outlier. He didn't make that excuse for it. He did not say, look, we had a single digit for a very long period. He did not say that we had the highest GDP growth rate of 14%. He's choosing and taking what suits him politically and presenting it. That is why we are here. That is why we are in this state. Such a terrible state under this minister. And he has the audacity to tell us 4 more years. 4 more years for what?
JJ, I see you compare the world crude oil prices that crashed in 2016 to COVID-19. That's what you are doing, Meboa.
No. I'm saying that there are external forces that affect every economy.
Yes.
Some of them you can withstand, some of them you cannot.
Yes.
And also compare us with other countries. For instance, this year, we are running a deficit of 16% in that report that I'm telling you. How come we are the only people doing that? South Africa is there, Senegal is there, Cote d'Ivoire is there, Nigeria is there. They are prioritizing. We are not. Okay, I'm not just, you see, in economic analysis, you can't just take one figure now, one indicator, and run with it. You must do a proper introspection of all the issues.
But I get the feeling, JJ, and not just you, or all the other, analysts on the opposition side, and many bebrina edin komo. I get the feeling, say, 2020, say COVID throw bibia haywire. You don't seem to accept that, didn't you? Because but for COVID, I can who figures are you.
No, Obi, we do. That's what I told you. So go and look at the 2019 budget. I was a washer. Look at the debt to GDP as a 2019. Look at the fiscal deficit as a 2019. Look at our import cover as a 2019. But the worst of it, the minister has refused to capture them as part of our debt. Share ESLA amortization. Any budget in the year. It's in the budget, Meboa. But we've decided to Enyayaka. Minister Obeka says on wire butter. Or the Sinohydro for 2 billion B. Now bauxite here. We are not innovative, he's innovative. Just this week, that authority buyer, they have done nothing as far as I'm concerned. Yain can as Ghana. And yet we insist that Enyayaka. One neka zona utiata no. Several of those, I'm going to look at the contingent liability. And then he says energy sector capacity charges, 12 billion. That's a huge lie. What they did in 2017, President Akufo-Addo Abusianfo, eco-forming company BFN Stratcon Energy, and now I'm going to supply most of the oil contracts in Ghana. They came on the back to tell us a capacity charge, not knowing they were using the money to go and pay for fuel supply. What has fuel supply got to do with capacity charges? Even the level of honesty, this minister quotes the Bible, wears white, and peddles falsehood, even in parliament. How can you tell us, capacity charge is 12 billion when you are paying Stratcon and paying all kinds of companies for fuel supply? This level of deception cannot continue. Who would they allow that? We'll meet him in parliament tomorrow. Friday, we'll debate it. He will hear from us. And that was his day. We couldn't interrupt him. Friday will be our day. And I tell you, we'll perform.
John Jinapor, my nasi, everything in Comobio.
Asempa FM.
Medase Papa Inti John Jinapor, a member of parliament, Yape Kosogo constituency in the Savannah region of Ghana, or a member of the finance committee in Ghana's parliament. Ekosi Saints High Asempa FM.
Obi. One land. Obi. Why Jimmy seat? All right, let's go.
Obi, say bonso. Obi, this is the man doing the magic. Obi, my radio, yeah, papa.
Obi, more on call.
Yeah, no call. Ecosi essentially higher Sempa 94.7 FM. And the John Jinapor and Amoten can make us a Charles Owusu Atnase. Yet in Common Ebesha so and Chebia. Charles. Akwa Bibia Koyedi.